get this first.
Yeah.
Excuse us. Alright, we got it. Very nice, very nice. Having a good time. There's always a bit of apprehension. So we take the fat out of it. Probably actually.
You need to watch copious amounts of Love Island.
Yeah.
Well, like the wrong strain.
Maybe. I haven't done it.
Turn him on. A lot of these people, but when I'm like, oh, did you watch?
Nervous at first, maybe a little extra, because here it's not only scuba diving, which I tried a couple times before, but never in these narrow passages, and so I just paid a lot of attention to Ron Howard, what he was saying, but especially to Rick Stanton, the guy I was playing, who was our consultant. He was there. There's moments that are scary where you're very confined spaces, and if you have any claustrophobia at all, which I have a little bit sometimes, you just find yourself, there's lots of bubbles. It means, oh, you're breathing too much, and you shouldn't. You got to save your oxygen. And if I want to seem like Rick Stanton, I wouldn't be breathing that hard. So it took me a while, but Ron gave us rehearsal time to be with them, and by the time we started, we were all fairly comfortable. I just asked him everything about that experience, just about his career, techniques for diving. He's the one that turned me on to some people in northern Spain and the mountains who did cave diving. He said, you should go try it.
Yeah, I think I hope what they take away is what I took away from it, which is just the scale of how many people were involved in this rescue. And I didn't know. I learned so much doing it, and I think Ron's done it so beautifully. And like you said, it's so emotional on so many different levels. I think that's because it tells so many different stories. And every single person really touched my heart, every single person's story in this. So I hope that people take away just how rich and huge this rescue was. Yeah, it was scary, but we're so lucky as actors that we always just get the most amazing team around you, training you, looking after you. We had one-on-one tuition. We trained for about 2 or 3 weeks, which is mad because the guys that literally the only people in the world who could do this rescue had been doing it for 20 plus years at least. But we were really well looked after, and it was a really big hurdle to overcome, but it was the real joy of playing someone who's such an amazing human being that will sacrifice their life to do this. To hold a candle up to them was a real honor. So anytime I was terrified, I just thought, these guys did this for real. I get to get out of here and have a flat white in a minute, But that was a beautiful thing about this movie. We were all kind of embedded in this together, and we went through it together, so we had each other's back. So anytime we got afraid, but I had quite a few moments. I don't like small spaces, so I had quite a few moments where I thought, man, I'm really struggling here. But you could clock eyes with Viggo or Joel or Colin underwater, and they'd give a little thumbs up, and you think, yeah, come on, breathe, we got this. So it was tough but rewarding.
What do I hope the audience feels? Relief by the end of it. I think so many people all around the world live in greater and lesser degrees of tension and stress. So to be able to see a story that ended as positively as this one did, look, people came together, they really did. Cultures, nations came together, and there was one goal, and it was a common goal. So many countries, so many women, so many men to save the lives of these children. So it was a very heartening experience to be part of telling the story, and if that can come across, I think Ron did an extraordinary job, but if the audience can feel a little bit of that, I think that's a nice thing. The challenge daily was not to drown. We had an amazing team of safety divers, and we had amazing instructors and constructors of the most incredible sets, elaborate, and I know there were safety divers there, and I don't know how those guys did what they did, all of them, because I had multiple panic attacks under the water, which was a first experience for me.
I thought the timing was perfect for this story. I also thought that it was going to be challenging, but I thought the combination of these themes, of what they represent, and the sort of visceral suspense of a story like this made it a really good movie opportunity for me as a director, and I thought for audiences as well. I hope they make an emotional connection with, the various brands of courage and heroism on display. It's not just the divers. this really was, I mean, it was thousands of people, and it was a massive international effort, and there were people making sacrifices in, you know, a wide array of ways, and they all mattered. And, you know, it's a really inspiring story in that way. Well, going all the way back to Apollo 13, I've just realized that part of the entertainment value of a film like this is authenticity. And audiences can kind of smell it. And today you can jump online and double check things. And so, you know, part of your promise with the audience is, yeah, we're going to collapse this story. We're going to make it very watchable and exciting and emotional and engaging. But the foundations and the specifics of this are going to ring true. It's going to offer you a sense of really what happened. You know, it was demanding, and yet once the actors, led by Viggo Mortensen and Colin Farrell, once they had trained with the real life divers, and Rick Stanton and Jason Malton, they came to me and said, we have to do all the diving. This is such a specific technique that it's like part of our characters that we get this right. Well, this was so liberating for me and great for audiences because the way the shots unfold, I mean, it's so mesmerizing, and then you realize this is them. This is them in those tight places. This is them, you know, dealing with that danger and this highly technical diving, and it was, you know, it was just, I so appreciated, you know, their commitment.
The idea that there's a story that was true, that had a positive outcome, that was so such a reminder that as humans, when we all get together and forget ourselves and forget our kind of divisions, that we're capable of doing incredible things and putting our brains and our acumen to solving incredibly, seemingly impossible problems. This story is a reminder of that. It's incredibly hopeful. And like I said, even if we hadn't been through what we're going through right now, it'd be worth telling. I just really wanted to be involved in it, knowing there was an Australian who played a key role in the rescue and a shockingly complicated emotional role and a medical role and a physical role in this. And I know him to be one of the greatest human beings I've ever encountered in my life. I wanted to be involved. If you made this movie and it wasn't a true story, no one would believe it. And I think it's extraordinary. But I get to play people who have true value in life, you know, and I've done it a few times in terms of true stories, and all I can do is catch a glimpse of the dignity and the great honour that other people's lives represent for the rest of us. So I'm lucky. I get to just pretend to be great.
Basically, I want them to look at this movie as entertainment, for one. Enjoy it, not to pick anything out of it. There's nothing negative about it because it's a feel-good movie based on a true story, told very well by Ron, and it is a story about Thailand, about courage, about love, about heroism, about everything that is actually Thai. It's a cultural thing, and Ron portrayed it really, really well.
It's really good. Some of the, you know, I think what Ron's done with the diving scenes and what the actors have done, it's incredibly realistic. The noises, the sound engineering is fantastic. That brings the diving back completely. But it's the sort of cave entrance sets that really brings the drama and the emotion and the tension of what was going on, chaos of what was going on. Well, there's two things from a personal point of view. You know, we were involved in it very much hands-on, and in a way we made it look too easy. Every day we'd go in, 4 or 5 boys would come out, and nobody really engaged or knew what we went through and how we did it. So I'm really pleased that people get to see that. But of course, on a wider picture, there were 5,000 people there, of which we were just a handful, all working together in adversity to achieve a positive outcome. But it always happens in adversity, never in normal time.